Hey there, fellow tennis junkies. Today we're doing some volley work. So, in this quick little warm up, Jake and I are going back and forth. I saw this drill from the Bryan brothers. So yeah, you should definitely check out this drill. Essentially, we're facing right across from each other. We're a little bit behind the service line, so it's kind of like a transition volley. And we're just having to go back and forth, and we're walking the distance of the court. So we're going from left to right, and then trying to go back again. So after that quick little warm up, we're going to jump into our drill for the day, which is Cuban Davis Cup, made famous by Jorge Capistani. So the way this drill works is that you have one person on the baseline. I'm also just going to have the playing footage going while I'm talking over it. So you have one person on the baseline. One person starts slightly behind the blue line. So Jake, one of my teammates, is back there on the baseline. I'm starting slightly behind the blue line. I feed the ball in and I hit a transitional volley. The whole purpose of this drill is to grind out transitional volleys. Jorge here at Hope College came into the job here and noticed that the college teams did not have great volleys and that their doubles was relatively low level. So he wanted to improve that by creating a drill that allowed you to hit a bunch of transition volleys, and he came up with this, Cuban Davis Cup. So it essentially is mirroring a serve and volley point. So as I'm feeding in that ball, you can tell we're taking away the serve, we're taking away the return for the sole purpose of being able to hit that transitional volley first shot. We only play it out cross court for the doubles purpose, so this way it acts as both singles work and doubles work, but you can honestly do this full court if you'd like. And kind of my hope with this series is to show you guys some drills like this that you can do in your own training to kind of improve and get better. There's some great videos that Jorge has created that show out how this drill works, but what I really like about what I'm trying to do is that this is the practical way to do it. You know, like this is very unedited. I took out a couple of points because of misfeeds or whatever, but this is really what the drill looks like once you start getting competitive with it. So the scoring works like normal tennis scoring, 15, 30, 40 game. And typically you'll play out a whole set. Trust me, they go pretty quick. You play out a whole set with one server, and then you'll switch sides and then have someone else, quote-unquote, serve or feed in the ball. So Jake and I spent a lot of time playing this game, and honestly I'm trying to play this game a lot more because my transition volleys are not great. So as you were kind of just seeing here, that first volley is what makes this really, really tough. Jake has an easy shot, which you can make that feed a little bit more difficult, kind of depending on what you want to do and the level, and we'll kind of progress it in just a minute here. But for what we're doing right now in this first stage of Cuban Davis Cup, you can just tell that I'm hitting all these transition volleys. I mean, I recorded this in 30 minutes, so everything that you see in this video today was pretty much done between 30 to 45 minutes, and the amount of volleys that I got to hit is insane compared to normal doubles. So let's take a couple of observations here from the drill. So the biggest thing that I'm noticing is that I'm catching my volleys really late, which I've never really noticed on camera before. But you can kind of see that I'm catching them really close to my body, which in theory, you should be catching your volleys like at least a little bit farther away from your body so you can take some time away from your opponents and not get jammed. Because I tend to get jammed a little bit, and that gives me some problems while I'm playing doubles. So honestly, whenever you're doing this drill, the biggest focus is that transitional volley shot. You really want to make sure that you're focusing on that transitional volley shot. And then you can play out the point. It's open play. If Jake wants to lob me, that's totally cool. If he wants to keep going cross like he did right here, he can do that as well. And then also we're a little bit lenient on the half a court. Like if you hit it kind of close to the middle tee line, that's fine. It's kind of just whatever you want to do. You can kind of adjust the drill as you'd like. So we have now progressed it to the next level. So that last version, if I missed that first transitional volley, we just replayed the point. But with this version, we've progressed it a little bit to be a little bit harder and also more realistic, if I'm being honest. So the way that we're doing this, I'm feeding in the ball with a... Oh, wow, that was bad. Missed overhead. I'm feeding in the ball with a Rafa feed. So what that means is I'm bouncing the ball into the ground on my half of the court. You can kind of see it right there. By putting some topspin on it, this is kind of forcing Jake to back up. Jake has to hit a really, really tough shot, so it makes it actually beneficial for him on the other side of the net as well. And then also, if I miss that third volley, it doesn't really matter. Jake still gets the point. Great shot, Jake. Jake still gets the point, and then we keep going. So once you start always counting that third ball, which is that transitional shot that this drill features, it goes pretty quick. I mean, points are pretty fast, but you also get a lot of touches on the ball. I mean, I'm hitting dozens and dozens of volleys here in 45 minutes. Whereas if I just went out and just played some doubles, I wouldn't get that chance because there's the serve, there's the return, there's all these different shots. And it's a lot more situational, whereas this drill really focuses on it. That's why Cuban Davis Cup has got to be one of my favorite drills. And it's one that I'm trying to implement in my training for this series, just because I really, really want to improve in my transitional volleys, improve in my doubles, and this drill is probably one of the best ones that you can do. So as you can see here, as soon as I feed in that Rafa-fed ball, Jake kind of struggles a little bit more on that first shot than last time because there's topspin on it, there's some real speed behind it, there's just a lot more that he's having to handle. But the benefit, though, is that he actually gets a lot more realistic of a shot, realistic workout for him and for me, so now we can kind of both work and both benefit from this drill. So again, I feel like, here we're actually going to switch it up, so I'm actually going to be playing on the baseline now, Jake is up there at the net. So I think from this drill, as I was doing this, one thing I really learned is that I'm actually hitting my volleys really close to my body, which I never really felt like I was doing. And actually the day before I filmed this, I did a pickleball certification. And a big thing with pickleball is that you have to hit the ball really far out in front of you if you're trying to reach out as far as possible. And in tennis, you don't necessarily want to reach out as far as possible, but it does help to get a little bit of reach. You need to get some space, you know. So that's one thing that I was kind of surprised, because I didn't really realize that I was catching the volley so close to my body. So that's one thing I want to work on in the next couple weeks. I'm going to look up some drills and stuff that I can do to kind of work on that. I haven't fully decided on what I'm going to make this next video be. But anyway, so as I'm playing on the baseline here, you can kind of see that Jake is handling my ground stroke relatively well. And what I noticed is that I kind of panic. As he runs in, you can kind of tell that I'm rushing my shot a lot more than normal. And even though he's taken away some time with that volley, I was a little bit disappointed in myself for how rushed and unprepared it looked like I was playing, and kind of how it felt while I was playing. So as Jake comes in and hits that first transitional shot, in reality, as the baseline player, you should be dropping the ball close to their feet, because then you don't want to pop up a high shot and give them a put-away volley, because once he makes that transitional volley, like right there, he's in the net, he's there. Like I have to face him right there. So I need to make sure that I'm getting that ball down lower. So those are some things that I really, really want to work on in the next couple of weeks, getting that volley spacing and dropping that ball again. And here's that quick little warm-up again. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go test out the Cuban Davis Cup in your own training and let me know how it goes down below in the comments. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next episode in a week.